So anyway, I'm Pat.
Hey, Patrick, I'm Jeffrey.
It's Trump's fault.
And what is?
Everything, apparently.
I thought you were going to put your sunburn on that.
I cannot blame the sunburn on Donald Trump.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You must still have actually put schmutz on, though.
I did put a little bit of schmutz
Yeah.
on it. It just burned through it after the course of
Jesus.
3.5 hours. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and all I had was the spray schmutz too, and that kind of sucks. So
It's better than nothing.
it's better than nothing, but marginally.
Nah, if you raw dogged it for 3 hours, you would be in.
I'd be bright purple.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember when we could do that, though?
I remember when he used to do that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, blisters are neat, Mom. So they put that soothing silver shit on it.
Well, yeah, you remember, like, you'd look at it like a friend, and you're like, why do you have those fucked up shoulders?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's from that.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, it's got pits in it. It's okay. It'll grow out by the time you're 16. So.
Yeah, dude.
Plus, I spent hours in the pool too, man. I remember that as
Yeah.
a kid. You spent hours and hours and hours in the pool until you develop like this layer of like leather armor that you would shed quickly as soon as the winter months came. So
That is true. No, you're right. We didn't full like fucking leather out like California style because
No.
you've seen.
Dude, I've seen people who did that, and they're my age now, and they look like they're 75.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's when I started seeing that's because I used to not care about the sun. As a matter of fact, I was like, oh, I should try to get more of it.
Yeah.
And you know what? You should get some in small doses.
Or you can take these little pills that like have D's on them. That's fine too. So
Well, that was one of the things that came up when they were doing lab results. So they're like, you have you're low on vitamin D.
oh, okay.
I said, oh, am I? And she was like, everyone here is.
What, in Colorado?
That's correct.
Why?
Because it's cold.
Oh, okay.
And so that's the thing is like you can try and get a few minutes of sun of the day, or you can do like you just recommended and get more of vitamin D.
Because I don't know what foods it's actually naturally occurring in.
It's milk.
Oh, well, I drink a shitload of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Milk and cheese. That's
I
yogurt.
eat both
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
I'm not a big yogurt fan. My wife is.
Well, here's the problem. I'm a fan of yogurt, but not the kind that's good for you.
Yeah.
They make yogurt that's like Rockstar flavored and
Yeah, I
fucking,
like a lot of yellow dye number 5.
yeah, it's the stuff that's like birthday cake and
Right, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
like
Strawberry punch.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you come there. It's like, what is that? It's like I'm gonna get healthy. Eating this Mountain Dew Baja Blast fucking yogurt.
He does.
If you actually buy the stuff that says like yogurt,
Right.
that just like that plain Greek shit that looks like greasy and stuff like that, it's like I don't want that.
I don't really. Yeah, it's okay. You gotta
It's
have a good
okay,
mixer with
yeah.
it, like fucking, Fruity Pebbles or something.
So, again, now this is and now we're back on that problem. You might as well just actually put the fucking just blend a Twinkie into it. So
Okay.
Actually, it's
Yeah,
not
don't
too
threaten
bad.
me with a good time.
Yeah. What's ridiculous? Your like wife is eating healthy. It's like, what are you doing? It's like you gotta cut that with a ding dong or something.
It should just up a little
Yeah.
bit.
No, that's
Just with a ding dong.
don't act like were you part of one of the families that used to like sugar up your like Rice Krispies and shit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so my mom had like restrictions on what you could put sugar in. If it was Rice Krispies or Trix, it was okay. If it was anything chocolate, it was not. So that was her rule.
As if Trix needed extra sugar, but I get it.
Okay, yeah. I don't think we actually didn't use use tricks as kids.
Did
So,
you use like did you
mom,
know about like checks and stuff like that?
oh
Or
yeah, we'd buy
uh,
checks, or we'd buy life. Or actually, we had a lot of checks. We used to. And my brother really liked kicks for a lot. Kicks are for kids. What isn't that? The Tommy likes it, whatever.
Tom, yeah, tricks are for kids, kicks are for
Yeah,
um,
he likes it. He really
that's
likes it.
life.
You're right. That's life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, we used to have that too.
but kicks was something else. Was
Those are
that
the
those
little
yellow
plain
balls?
balls. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. They
yeah.
were tasty. The little corn balls. So we used to have those in the house quite often.
Kicks are for kids,
Kicks are for kids.
I
Yeah.
think. No, that's
Silly
no.
rabbit
It's just like
tricks are for
trick of his
kids.
kids love kicks or something like that. It's
Yeah. Okay. Kids love it.
yeah.
That's what it was.
There you
Kids
go.
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but no, I mean, that was. I mean, we do a little bit of sugar, but I don't know. But the cereal was more bland back then, man. Now it's like super sweet. So
Frosted Flakes was for adults.
kind of. Well, so are frosted mini wheats. It was like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
one side's good for the adult and the other side's good for the kid. I think they're fully frosted now.
Either that or they've just taken the plain ones off the market.
Right, yeah.
It's just that people
Oh,
are
the
eating
shredded wheat.
the biscuits.
The biscuits.
The one.
You see a commercial, be like, that must be a really small bowl, but then you actually buy it's like a fucking,
It is, yeah. It's huge. And it's just you wouldn't eat it. Like I've bought it,
Mm.
and
No,
I've gotten it. It's just not good. It's
no, they're bad. Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, there were.
I don't even think the frosted ones are really all that good either.
I don't.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
we would get those every now and then. So, I didn't really like them that much. They were just like we ate so much breakfast cereal as kids that
What are you gonna do?
I mean,
That
you
was
rotate through
yeah,
it. That
yeah,
was kind of the thing. So, like our treat cereals that came around were like marshmallow Rice Krispies.
yeah, yeah.
Mom would not buy those for us like every week. So we had to suffer through a couple weeks of checks or something, which was fine.
No, it's like Chex is not a bad cereal. It's not.
We
It's
used to get Crispix. That was the one that I really
Crispix was
those
good.
were good.
Yeah,
Yeah, those were good. Yeah.
I get that sometimes. Every now and then when you were in the mood, like I thought regular Cheerios were a waste of time, but I thought Honey Nut Cheerios were quite nice.
That was the only one we ever got.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Because I think my dad liked those. Yeah, he did.
seems like something.
He liked that, and he liked grape nuts. So,
Of course,
of course,
there's a weird intersection of people that like grape nuts, and
baseball. Yeah.
I think
Chevy truck.
I think I think that road goes directly through a certain part of Manhattan.
Right.
The same like it's in the same neighborhood where people eat organ meats. I mean,
Oh
it
yeah,
is
yeah. You can
yeah.
get the Brunschweiger.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, what do you like? Horrible food. No problem.
No
I got
problem.
you.
We got you.
Yeah.
So
You want to eat meats from jars? It's like, absolutely.
absolutely.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please. Can I drink the juice afterward? Yeah.
My mom with that fucking like canned fruit. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, don't forget to drink the juice afterwards. Like there were,
That is hideous.
she thought this were the vitamins were.
That's not where the.
Yeah. Listen, mom was not a nutritionist. I don't blame her. She comes
Yeah.
from a peasant culture,
Right.
so I'm willing to let that slide.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't fly in the internet age anymore. You can look it up.
I don't. Again, this is the kind of thing that mom should have also known that those Hostess pies were not health food.
No, that's not fruit.
It had tiny little bits of fruit in it.
Well, they took the juice from the can and put
Right.
in a bunch of sugar, and there you go. Now you have the fucking Pop Tart filling. Yeah. So,
Pop Tarts. That is that is just it's a poor excuse for food. It is.
I've always thought they're overrated, man. So I mean, like, and I know some people bag on, like, you bag on the maple one. I actually like that one compared to like some of the fucking birthday cake ones. So
Well, look, we there were what, three flavors growing up?
yeah, it was like cherry, strawberry, and blueberry. You know, they had the apple one. The apple one's always been good. So
Yeah, you're
apple
talking.
cinnamon.
So we had there were two that we had that were growing up. So you had the holes with no frosting,
Oh yeah, that was most of them. Yeah.
right? And then you had the frosted strawberry and the frosted cherry ones, and
Yes.
the maple one,
The maple one, the one
right?
with the fucking mortar brick on it. Yeah.
So, all right, if you're putting it up against the original flavors, I think the maple is down there at the bottom
In
somewhere.
the original flavor, yeah.
Yeah.
Although everybody loved the cherry ones, I have never been a fan of cherry ones. Yeah, okay. So there are very few things in this world that I like that are cherry. So
I don't have a problem with cherries themselves, but nothing that you get that's cherry tastes like cherry.
no, yeah, no, I've never been a huge fan of. Well, okay, yeah, not even like cherry. I did like cherry 7 Up. I do not like cherry Coke though. Yeah, so
It's okay.
it's I'd rather have Coke. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 You don't need to judge this up. It's good.
No, no, no. Coke is fine. I mean, I don't. And I know for a minute there, the cool thing to do because everybody saw Pulp Fiction was to get vanilla Coke. Um,
That's gross.
it's all right.
It's all right.
It's
Really get to cream soda. So
yeah, but once you're fine.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And that shit happens. I mean, there's like shit that socially happens because like movies and stuff. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
not great. Um, I'm trying to remember because there's that shit happens sometimes, and it always makes me laugh. But um,
Well, with food.
yeah, like something comes out in a movie or something like that, and it's you know what it was that stupid sauce from fucking Rick and Morty that
Oh, the Szechuan stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which actually wasn't that good. I mean, it was fine, but
I don't remember it.
so I remember when that whole thing came out on Rick and Morty. It was out for a couple weeks, and I was like, oh, let me go get some nuggies and I get some Szechuan sauce.
Hmm.
I was like, it's okay.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and then what do they like? I don't know. Rick and Morty became rapidly irrelevant.
Well, wasn't that all because of that shit that happened to Justin Roiland and
That's part of it, but also the writing got stupid. So, and that was while he was still there. So, I mean, they had an whole episode that was basically about like anti-meta kind of like fucking, themes and stuff.
yeah.
So with the train, that I when I saw that one, I was like, this show's done. It's way too up its own its ass now. So,
I don't even remember it. I mean, I did watch a few seasons of it because it was on something I was watching.
yeah,
I caught up with it. And look, there's some good stuff in there, but yeah, there is a piece of it where, um, you know,
second
there's
season's great. So there's a lot of fun episodes in there. So
yeah, there's. I mean, that's the thing is I never. The thing is people would point it out and they'd say like this shit's next level. It's like next level to what?
yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, what is your expect? Actually, what the fuck were you watching where this is next level to that? Is
Yeah,
really my
yeah,
question.
you're not really watching that much if you think this is really that deep, you know. Yeah, exactly. Well, and I mean, you and I had watched all the like quote unquote edgy cartoons over the years that, it
Hmm.
was like, okay, it's a new
Yeah.
one. It's yeah, okay. I mean, does it belong in some kind of pantheon of that? Sure, maybe, is it a fucking Adventure Time? No. So even though that's where the guy came from, so I was like, all right, well, so you're just letting your adult brain run wild now. Cool, whatever.
I mean, that should happen sometimes. I mean, you and I know that that like it's when people go nuts for like they went nuts for Lost and other things, and
Briefly.
It happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Justin Roiland got caught up into some shit. I think he was absolved of that though.
After a minute,
It took a
if
minute.
I recall, there were a bunch of like pile-on, sex pesty kind of things that
Well, yeah, and that kind of happens, and they usually get flushed with the main one if there's not much to it. But sometimes they uncover new shit too.
they
So
do. I mean, the truth is, do I think that most of these people that have these sort of allegations come up, they just spring up out of nowhere? Probably not.
yeah,
Um,
probably not.
I think that there's a lot of people that once they get to a certain point and they realize how much access uh, and resources have people throwing themselves at you, they've kind of fall for certain things. And
Yeah, if they don't lean into it willingly, sure.
well,
I
it's
mean, there's definitely guys who do that.
for me to say like, okay, there's something wrong with that. I'm like, I don't know, and it's impossible for me to say what I would do in that situation because it's not happened. But I mean, the truth of it is like there's a certain amount of that I'm typically willing to forgive or overlook because it's just kind of you don't expect it. It
Yeah,
doesn't make it right.
yeah.
But if you're like of a certain age, I'm like, I get it.
Like, what would that age be? Like, if you're 19?
Well, no, no. If you're a guy in your 20s, if you're a guy in your 30s, and
I
you,
was in his 40s, man. He should know
eh, well,
better.
and the other thing I'll say here is, uh, if you're not married, I could give a shit, right?
Oh no,
At that
that's
point,
fine
do
then.
whatever
Yeah,
you
knock
want,
yourself out.
and
As long as there's nothing illegal. So
that's correct.
yeah,
And yeah, I do think that stuff does go on, but it's a different story.
yeah. I don't know, man. I'm never gonna have that much money to know that. So
It's for the better.
I don't want it. So
Well, I think if somebody just offered it to you, you'd take it.
I'd probably like pass it on to you. I'd be like, here, like he's better than me. Take it. So I don't need that.
It could be a problem, though.
It could be.
Well, I mean, I certainly don't think I'd turn evil, but um, I mean, I think there could be moments.
Well, I certainly wouldn't put you in charge of the school district.
That's a bad idea. And I've come clean on that. As time has gone by, I'm like, I'm not.
Hey man, that other guy wrote all that thing in that book before he did it. So, and then everybody's like, "Nah, he's gonna be cool." He was just doing that to sell books. He was like, "No, actually, we are going to use gas fans until we build camps." No, no, no. Yeah,
I don't believe it. No,
I
I
don't
got you.
believe
No,
it.
That's what you've been doing this week, man.
Grading.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
grading.
done?
No, more of it's
Is it
coming in.
close?
No, well, we'll see what the morning looks like. So technically, we wrap up tonight at midnight in about 3 hours.
Oh, all right.
So I'll go home and take a look at it and see how bad it is, and either knock it out tonight or get it tomorrow and get her done. So,
It's very mature of
and
you.
then I'll done for a little while.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
yep.
And then what's next?
Uh, let's see. I've got a conference coming up in about a month.
Oh, I thought you were going to do like fun stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to the Yankee game next week. So,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch them beat the shit out of the Rockies.
This
Never so bad.
never underestimate this may be one of the games the Rockies fucking win.
Oh, actually, I would laugh my balls off if that happened. Because the people I'm going with, they're all diehard Yankee bros. So, my mom's going. So,
Well, okay,
like
okay, all right.
she's, she roots for the Yankees over the Rockies out of love and kind of hate this year too. Um, and then
It's finally happened.
it's finally happened. So
Yeah.
the last game that we went to, the Rockies beat the Yankees, even though the Yankees had an infield Grandy. So yeah, it was hilarious. So yeah, an infield. Well,
in the park.
in the park. Right, there
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, in the park Grandy, which I had never seen, and I have yet to see something like that ever again. So
Well, I didn't see that one, but that would have been the only one I'd ever heard of.
it happens a couple times a year. So, but it's just not very often. So I mean, this one it bounced off the back wall. So, and then he overthrew the plate, and then he had to go, by that point in time, all four of them were in. So there you go.
Well, here's the problem, though. Wouldn't overthrowing the plate cause an error?
Yeah, but it still counts as in Stadium Grandy. So
You see, that's
yeah,
that's the tricky thing. There is, if he overthrew the plate, that would be a triple plus an error.
possibly. I don't know. That's what they called it. So
Oh no!
yeah, I don't know.
I'm just well, okay. So all right, if he threw it basically into the stands, right?
Right.
That would be an error.
He did not throw it in the
Right,
stands.
right.
The catcher failed to make the play at the plate, and the ball got away from him.
That's just routine. Yeah,
and it went way back.
Yeah,
yeah. It was a pretty impressive one because it was like really high arc on it, and so yeah, it was kind of neat. So, but they still lost. So then the Rockies beat them. So it was hilarious. It was like blurn ball.
Sometimes it's like that, man.
There is a team that I want to see, the Savannah Bananas. So
Why? Because of that show?
what show?
Isn't that the shirt that fat guy is wearing in the Reacher?
He might be. I haven't watched the most recent season.
I haven't either. I've only watched like 4 episodes.
Of the first season?
Yeah.
Does he have a Savannah Banana shirt on?
I think that's where I just saw it recently.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Why is it on your? Why is it on your?
So this is a real team. It's a real AAA team.
Oh.
Well, no, it's not a AAA team. It's NCAA.
Oh.
They do college prep and stuff like that, I think.
Oh.
So they drive ticket sales by having basically two different types of baseball game. One is serious, and one is like fucking crazy baseball, okay? Where the guys play on stilts, okay? Fans can catch balls and it counts as an out. There's all kinds of weird fucking rules.
Okay.
So, and they actually play it at the end where it's like a fucking shootout. So, yeah, I know. So you'd have to check it out because I don't know all the rules. So, but they're touring this year and they're just packing major league stadiums. So, and they have like another team that they play kind of. So think like the Globetrotters and the Generals.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
They have another team that plays their rules.
Oh,
okay. That is also a legit team. Okay, but then they do this tour, and this is like so it got really big during COVID because they didn't have any fans, and so they do all this shit on TikTok.
Oh, all right.
And so now it's just this fucking hot ass sensation out there in minor league ball. And they're touring all kinds of different stadiums across the United States. I checked there; they are coming to Coors. The tickets were like $600 fucking. So, and they're sold out. So
wait, are those scalper prices or
those were Ticketmaster prices? So
Jesus,
I know. So I was like, oh, geez, what is this? So we'll see, man. But it was like I'd like to see one of those games and not on TikTok things. So anyway, maybe next year. So I'm sure not all the tickets are $600. Those are just the ones that were left. So, because I mean, I'm going to Yankee game, and we paid $180 for those tickets. So that's a premier. That's like Yankees, Cubs, fucking Red Sox. If they come to Coors, you get that. That's top tier pricing.
Yeah,
right there. Yeah.
Is that per ticket?
That was per ticket. Yeah.
Where are you sitting?
Pretty nice seats. We're in club level.
Oh,
So
okay, okay,
yeah.
all right, all
So
right.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure like the whatever like there's a stand up there that's just bench seating. I'm sure that's like 30, 40 bucks.
The old rock pile or whatever
It's
they
not
used
even
to
the
call
rock
it.
pile anymore. So they have a new there's a steakhouse and a bar up on top of the deck, and then there's seating next to that, and you that's open seating. So they only let so many people sit up there. You can kind of move between the restaurant and the seating.
Oh, okay,
So yeah,
okay,
it's kind
yeah,
of neat.
yeah.
So
Oh, all right, all
yeah,
right.
yeah. So I can't remember what it's called though. But
I
those
got
are the cheap seats now.
Got so spoiled going up there for all those years because of the boxes. Well, not the boxes, but
Yeah,
the company seats.
the company seats. Yeah. So I have never sat right behind home plate there. So
Fucking ridiculous. You can see us on TV, man.
yeah, I should do that some year. So my buddy did that last year for a Baltimore game. His sons came out. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go do this right because they're all Orioles fans."
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
he was on TV.
I mean, it is cool. Don't get me wrong, but I'll say this: I've never really had a bad time at the ballpark, even in kind of you go to the fucking Rockies used to have like $5 seats.
They used to.
You know, um,
Yeah,
even shit like that. That was cool too. So
yeah. I think you could probably get into the stadium for less than $25.
right,
So yeah, but I don't. Yeah, they don't have $5 seating no more. So
I
shit,
wouldn't
man. I
expect them
remember over
to.
here they used to
Yeah.
have $2 Tuesdays, and that was the cheap seats. And so
Oh, the bleachers.
no, actually, it was. Uh, well, they were all bleachers.
No, they had bench seats.
Did
Or
they have
not.
bench
Well,
seats?
not bench, but fold out seats on the bottom level.
Okay, maybe I never was there.
So $2 would get you on the
I think
bleachers,
I was always in the bleachers.
and then a little bit lower, $5 put you in the boxes.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the blue
I
seats.
wonder, is that stadium still there? Or they tear it down.
I think it's still there.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I think there's another team that plays there, but I don't know who they are.
Oh, that's right. We do have a double A team. Nobody cares about that because they feed into like fucking Cleveland or something.
Hey, man, when it comes down to it, if we weren't supporting the team, I don't know what to tell you.
No, I mean, but the whole thing is like, so they kept trying to move downtown, and downtown didn't want nothing to do with it because parking, But then when CC came knocking on the door and said, "Hey, we want to build a giant new hockey arena down here,"
Right.
they were like, "Okay." And then later on, they were like, "Oh, well, we want to build a great big soccer stadium down here that's on these like 4 pristine blocks of land." They're like, "Okay." So it was obviously something about baseball. They didn't want the riffraff down there. I guess I don't
Baseball does not attract
know.
riffraff.
Apparently, they thought it did. So
Basketball attracts riffraff.
they don't have a basketball team.
That's correct.
Yeah.
No, that's it's. I don't really think that the Sky Sox would have done any better downtown than they were out here.
Right.
I mean, given how long they were out here and for how many fucking houses are around this place, where
Oh yeah, but nobody's gonna go to the games. So yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know. So what I've never played, I don't have the expertise of having played like Ballpark Manager '99 or it's in the game. I never got into anything like that, so I can't speak in it with any kind of like faux expertise.
Hmm.
You have train experience, both real and virtual.
Hmm.
So I mean, there's things that I can give you on that, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about baseball stadiums.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm out.
Um,
I'm out. Tap out.
so this one, it's just conjecture. I think they would have done the exact same business down there as you were up here.
Downtown, maybe. I don't know. The thing about downtown that was definitely different was, if you actually had it kind of like where they put that soccer stadium,
Yeah.
Okay, so as long as you solve the parking problem, there's actually a shitload more stuff to do either before or after a game. So, because up here,
Well,
you are fucking like, okay, we can walk to the Red Robin.
well, I
You
mean,
know? Yeah.
unless you go down to basically like Theater Row,
Yeah,
that's.
but
But I think movies kind of compete with baseball.
correct. Yeah. So the Theater Row is actually not doing that great either. So, I mean, the theater is doing great, but like I've seen just about every restaurant over there, with the exception of the Yacht Club, change hands. Well, except for and the Red Lobster. The Red Lobster still survived somehow. So it survived Crab Fest. Must have
For
been
one
one of
more
the good
year.
ones.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't sink all the other ones. But so they bulldozed the other old C's over there. They're going to bulldoze this one over
Are
here.
they really?
It's closed.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Okay.
it's
All right.
Dunzo. There's only one old C's less in town. It's the weird
Downtown.
one up. No, that one's way long gone. That
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
that thing's
yeah.
been gone for probably a decade. No, the one up on Woodman. So the
Oh, wow.
weird one.
That's the one that
Yeah,
survived, huh?
yep. It's the one that survived. Probably because it's right next to the Hooters. That survived.
Again, things that you wouldn't expect to be around.
Correct.
Well, it's weird, and I got to tell you, it doesn't surprise me that Old Chicago's is one of those places that didn't really come swinging out of COVID all that well.
Yeah. But like all the other restaurants over there have changed hands. So, because remember, you used to have, what was the Italian place that was over there? Big one that would give you the. They were the first place that I go to that they give you the little plate with olive oil and cracked like pepper, and you dip your bread in
Oh,
that.
was this like a Johnny Carino's?
Carino's, yeah,
Yeah,
Carino's is long gone.
yeah,
So, and it's changed hands like twice since then.
yeah.
So they used to have that really good meatloaf over there. What was that place? Mama, the Kitchen.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is.
Just go there all the time.
Yeah, that
Actually,
place is long gone. So they actually bulldozed one place and built a whole new thing on top of it, a whole different type of restaurant. That one's gone out of business. And then they had that 50s diner over there. I've seen that thing go vacant
what
twice.
Bubba's?
I think
No, that's further down.
Bubba's is doing booming business, and the reason why that happens is because you walk in there and it's an offense to God in terms of how many TVs immediately greets you at the door.
Oh, is this one of those ignore your family kind of places?
It's totally it's not a just ignore your family; it's an ignore your server kind of place. You know?
All right, that's fine. Yeah, because that place does the parking lot anyway looks fucking like jam packed every
It
time I
is
go
jam
by there.
packed. Yeah,
Um,
Hoo is still there for some reason. So, although the last two times I went in there, it was kind of shady, man. It's kind of like, you know.
I know, I know that my brother took some of the kids down there
Okay.
for like a birthday party thing,
Hmm.
and I guess it was still jamming and they loved it.
Oh, that's good.
But I mean, this is Colorado Springs, man.
Yeah.
We give people very very improper forecasts on how to do their budgeting
Oh, yeah.
in the first 3 months.
Right. We fool them. So,
Absolutely
we
do.
absolutely
Yeah,
fool them. Yeah.
because yeah, on day 91,
Crickets.
you're
It's like, wait a minute. It's 7 p.m. What the fuck?
it's,
You know?
like if you had a way to go out there, if your business model, if you had this thing out where you're like, all right, so I can get in here, I will do this with minimal staffing, maximal prices. We're going to be in here for 3 months. It's like a pop up, right?
Right.
But it actually, because we can tell, right? If it's not an actual like brick and mortar place, right? Now we're nervous. Now if the shit just folds up,
Yeah.
right, and just goes out there on a truck,
Yeah.
right? You just lift up the whole building, put it on a truck, take it away. You just park it there 90 days, squeeze every last dollar out,
Yeah.
and leave. You do great.
No, man. I've got an even better idea for any restaurateur out there. Sit down and do about 5 or 6 years worth of restaurant plans, changing the restaurant every 6 months. Okay. So just go through all you do a Mexican restaurant, you do an American general
That's
food,
not a
you
horrible
do a
idea.
fucking Italian restaurant, you have it all set up so that the kitchen remains the same. People can never see what's going on in the kitchen.
Right.
And then all you have to do is pull down all the kitschy crap off the walls, move some of the booths around and shit like that, and then put up something new. So in the exact same location. The only thing you need to do is pick a place that's got a big parking lot. Okay? And you can say like,
Yep.
grand opening, and you can overcharge people, pocket that fucking cash, save a little bit of it to, replace the fucking checkered tablecloths with, Mexican flag ones.
Right. Well, here's the thing: is given how much shit goes out of business, you just have to go hang out on eBay and go collect some crap from places that be closing.
Correct. That's all you got to do. Yeah. You can even collect it from some of the ones that have closed, and so you're like, oh, is this the new Chili's?
Well, I mean, so here's the thing: is there has to be like a Pizza Hut that closed down. So
gotta be something. Yeah.
And so, like, one of these times you go in there, they have those big red plastic cups.
Do they still have those?
The Pizza Hut cups?
Yeah.
I think Will has some from when he worked at Pizza Hut. Like,
it's 20 years ago.
but you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you show up there, like, I haven't seen these cups in forever. It's like, no, you haven't. But you're seeing them now. And they'll just, and see, like, the big scandal is like when some hotshot Colorado Springs journalist fucking breaks in there overnight and they find their closet or their storage unit full of like fucking like repurposed like Fuddruckers shit.
Oh yeah, the old Bennigan stoplight. Yeah, busted. It's like, wait a minute, didn't old Chicago's have the Mug Club?
I'm on this plaque. Yeah.
Plaque.
No, you're right. And see, and then when the story breaks, you're like, so what's the big crime? And they're like, I don't think that. No, you just had a business plan.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then, all the business will leave, and then you could have another going out of business sale. So
it's what we do, man. It happened like again, like some of my favorite places. There was an Italian place that used to be up there, like near where your parents were. Love that place. Mm-hmm. Like Rotini's or something like that.
Yep,
gone. Like that's.
Yep. There's like I don't know what it is, man, but it's hard to find decent small little Italian restaurants anymore. It seems like something killed them all off, and it can't just be the Olive Garden. So because that's been around here for fucking 30 years. So
the Olive Garden has changed from what the Olive Garden was.
I haven't been to an Olive Garden in at least 10 years, so I couldn't tell you. So
my understanding, Patrick, is when we were younger, not now, not when we were in our 20s, but evidently when we were in our like teens and youngers.
Yeah.
Right? You wore a collared shirt to go.
Yeah, no, that was not our Olive Garden.
Right.
Yeah.
So it went from that to where we are, and it's basically take us and go one step of customer down.
Oh, so they got a buffet now, huh?
It's one step above buffet, basically.
Ooh,
right.
So they bring you to the table buffet, yeah. So you have never-ending pasta or stuff like that now.
Not quite, but yeah, it's very. They're catering to that crowd.
Yeah, okay. I don't think that's what's killing all small Italian restaurants.
I don't think so either.
I got to be honest with you. Like, I bet you what it is like if you think about a decent Italian restaurant, the inputs into it are quite expensive. So, because you're cooking with eggplant, veal, shellfish.
That place, not fuck. Okay, like. Most of the shit you have is okay. So Olive Garden, here's what they have.
Well, I know I'm not talking about the Olive Garden,
but yeah, you got different pastas. They don't make that shit fresh there.
No, right? They don't.
Their Alfredo comes in a bag, right? It is what it is, right? And those other Italian places you're talking about, they're cooking with the expensive stuff. Then
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Olive Garden does that. I'm saying that's why you don't see too many of those small mom and pop places because that's a niche crowd. Yeah. So if you're going to go and you're going to go to a neighborhood place, it better be, one of the few in town. Right. If you're going to go in there and rack up $120 bill.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Whereas Mexican restaurants just seem to survive because Taco Bell, the same 9 ingredients and, that's 81 different combinations.
So, well, and every now and then, yes, they find a way. It's like we've incorporated a new ingredient which is Doritos.
Right. Yeah.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
see, here's the thing: is I think Taco Bell keeps your Mexican restaurants honest
It does.
because they're never too far away from saying, guys, you're
We might as well go to the Bell. Yeah. Yeah.
correct,
Yeah. Yeah.
correct, yeah. Unless and there is, you and I have both been to these places. There is also high end Mexican.
Yeah.
More often than not, I don't want high end Mexican.
The one high end place in town, Mexican, that I've been to doesn't hold a candle to the family owned mid tier places. So it's like, yeah, this is really good pico, but it's pico. Yeah.
Well, and they're gonna like force mole sauce on you, and I hate mole
Yeah, I'm not a
sauce.
fan of mole sauce. Yeah, or they'll make tacos that are beef, but like, well, or pork tacos, but they're like pork cheek tacos. And so it's like, yeah, these are really tasty. I don't know if they're $9 tasty.
That's kind of it.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. So you have to. The Bell keeps the mid places honest, which is why you get good prices on those still.
yeah.
But that up end market is what it is. If you want it, you got it.
Right.
But I'm not that stuck up on Mexican food because ultimately, even still, 90% of their ingredients are going to be the same,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
You can't fucking like upscale lettuce. You can't like
No. Yeah, diced onion and tomato is still diced onion and tomato. You can buy a fucking mountain of cilantro for like $2.
you absolutely can.
Yeah,
And you know what? Here's the thing. Every single one of you is opening up cans of Rosarita
Oh yeah.
refried beans. Like you can't make that any different or special. It's
No,
the same
no.
shit.
Even if
It's
you mash them yourself, it's the same.
correct.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna get any
No.
fancier, So it's that's how it goes. And yeah, you're right. So the only place that I can say like now you're talking about Italian, the thing that's weathered them all has been goddamn Fazoli's.
Oh man, there's a place I haven't been to in a long time.
And that is actually
It's
like
probably a front for the cartel. So-
I thought the cartel fronts were mattress stores.
oh, I don't know. Some of them are restaurants. Like Monica's famously was owned by El Chapo.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's the taco shop?
the taco shop. Yeah.
Wasn't there another place that was problematic for that? No, 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 no. I think that was it. Monica's downtown.
Well, and over here on
Okay.
Powers, there's two of them.
There's a place downtown that was always they were kind of fancy, like Bojo's or something like that.
Bojo's,
Yeah,
Bojo's Pizza.
something like that. Yeah, I
I thought
feel
that
like
was
there
in
was a
Denver. I don't know what.
there was
Yeah.
there was another place downtown that was well not quite downtown. It was just past Nevada. Um, I can't remember,
I have no idea. So
but I recall there was another place that was sort of trouble.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they had the bar there, Navajo Joe's, that was trouble.
Yeah, but they were a different kind of trouble,
There
weren't
was
they?
stabby trouble. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it was different. You know?
Well, I guess there was another place that was trouble with like 109 illegal immigrants.
Oh yeah, I was gonna go look at that place. I forgot to do that.
We got all the time in the world now.
Well, I do. Yeah, I just don't have an excuse to drive down south. So
That's right. Yeah.
I can make one up.
Do you want to? I mean,
I don't know. So I don't know. Yeah, a whole bunch of those guys, like what was it, like 30 of them got shipped off. Um, and then there was a bunch of army guys that were involved in that.
because of course.
Well, yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I did see that. I saw that like they're actually making quite a few like busts in Denver
Yes.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, man. I just really haven't been like, there's nothing in the news that happened over like the last week or two that's really been like, oh my God, you got to pay attention to this right now.
It all
So,
happened today.
what happened today?
Did you hear about Biden's diagnosis?
No, is he? He's got Alzheimer's.
He has prostate cancer that's
Oh,
metastasized to his bones.
ooh, that's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah, that's not
And
good.
that is not something that just happened either.
No, probably not.
They also released that report that they buried before.
Which one?
This was the interview where they decided he was too senile to prosecute.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yep, that came out yesterday.
Oh, yeah, no, I did not see that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked by what's in that though. So the
No,
cancer
you
thing's
wouldn't.
kind of sucks. So
No, it does suck, but I
that
mean, this
sucks.
is it's the two components of number one, everybody knew what his cognitive decline was.
Yeah, sure.
Number two, he was clearly not medically fine because that shit would have been like that would have shown in his blood tests.
What? The cancer?
Yeah.
Maybe. So I don't know, man. I have a little experience with that since my dad actually probably had prostate cancer, and they didn't detect it until he went in. So and he had had several blood draws, but you actually have to like probe you.
Well, on top of that, that's the kind of thing that their physicals are supposed to do.
Well, yeah, and so that's
There's
the kind of
no
question.
possible way that they could have missed it.
Well, I don't know about that if he didn't let them stick their finger up his butt. So I have no idea.
Well, that's the kind of thing that
That's
they're
what my
supposed to.
dad did. My dad wouldn't let somebody do that. So
Dad's not the president, though.
my dad's not the president, no, but it's still at the same point in time. I don't know if they knew that or not. So
Yeah, that's some old bullshit. Now, of course, I don't wish that on anyone,
no, Lord
and
no.
this has nothing to do with him being having that because that sucks, and cancer blows for anybody that gets it.
It's a shitty way to die. So
It's the worst.
well, I don't know. The shark attack's pretty bad.
Shark attack, immolation,
Immolation, yeah, burn the
I think
steak,
there's
yeah, hammer and tongs,
yeah, that's true. Like that pear thing. Um, the, I think
they split you open from the one orifice that's readily available. Yeah,
yeah, one or two.
yeah, one or two.
Yep, that's the. I hear the brazen bull is quite nasty.
That one's pretty bad.
There's one. There's one I read about a couple of weeks ago. Something where they like tie you to a ship, and I'm not talking like keel hauling. I'm talking
No.
about, and that sounds nasty, because evidently some people survive that. Um,
We must have cleaned the ship recently.
well, okay, so there's that. But there's one where they have like a paddle boat. Well, they'll like tie you up in that thing, put you out in the water with like fucking honey on you.
Oh it's the torture of the boats. So and they let worms and flies crawl in your butthole. And
This is
everything.
fucking ridiculous. Like,
So you can thank the Persians for that one. So they invented that one. So
all right.
yeah. Or actually, no, it's not the Persians. It's the guys before them. The Assyrians is the Syrians.
Oh, the
The
Assyrians.
Assyrians did that.
Oh,
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Dan Carlin had a whole show on torture, and that one
Jesus
specifically came up.
It has a weird name too. Oh yeah, but I only learned about it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's there is. Our species has come a long way.
Oh no, we're much better than we used to. We're much more housebroken. Yeah.
Not just housebroken. I mean, this is the weird thing. Is you'd think that go back in time like this, and you just there's so few, like so many less humans.
Oh, way less.
And to
Yeah.
take the few that you have and be like, well, he is our greatest wheat farmer, but he did transgress. So
Into the boats. I don't know, man. So many of those stories are probably a little bit overbaked. So, and then the other thing is like, I mean, it's not that widespread either. So it's not like there's like Mesopotamian TikTok where they all like take a look at it and say,
This
"Oh, this
is
is a
true.
great fucking idea.
Well,
Let's do it
yeah,
everywhere."
yeah.
It's probably like this one town that was like, "What can we do that's the most fucked up thing that we can think of?" It's like, well, the lake has a lot of flies this time of year. So.
Well, okay, yeah, there's I know how ideas come out like that. It's like, all right, so I got this idea. It's like, what? So they left this chicken out on this ship,
Mm,
right? It's like, yeah, and it's like, let me tell you what happened to this chicken,
I know. Yeah.
right? No, what if we did that with a guy,
What if we? Yeah. What if we did that to Bob? You know,
right?
wasn't he looking at your wife the other day?
Bob was definitely looking at my wife.
Let's go
Now
get
we got to
Bob.
do something about
We got to
Bob.
do something about Bob.
There's no two ways about it. My also understanding is, this was the other thing that I didn't know was a lot of those tortures they actually um, they either had a way to basically put that person out of their misery kind of quick,
Yeah.
or they would actually kill the person and then just sort of like mutilate their body.
They would do that with a lot of people who were burned at the stake in Europe.
Yeah.
So they would actually have a rope tied around their neck. And so they'd give them about like 30 seconds where they're screaming. And then there was like either a weight or something that would just choke that person out so that
Yeah.
they didn't actually burn to death.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This
Not
is
that
not
that
to
makes
say,
it any better. Yeah.
no, it makes it marginally better.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it right.
Well, that's the whole point behind the guillotine. It was supposed to be painless. Right. Yeah. So, and then they found out later that your head can see for what, like 28 seconds or something like that.
I don't think it's that long. And frankly, I don't know like what you're thinking about at that point anyway. It's just like this
Wee! Ow, my face.
Because you can't say shit anyway. I mean, ain't no air coming out of there like that. And so, I mean, yes, it is. It is. To be fair, it is quite humane in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Looks cool. Great, great imagery.
I would not want to see that.
Hell no.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't want them like fucking bending me over on like a stump, with some fucking gutsy ass giant dude with an axe is over here. It's like, oh, just he's like the fucking like Flintstones, garbage disposal. Like, it's a living. I don't want him.
Yeah.
I don't want his ass coming over here. It's like it's the fifth one today. Fuck all that shit.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't like tying me down or some other shit where yeah, I don't want them doing the fucking the horrible things where they used to say like they'd where was this where they bury you in the sand with just your head out.
That was here. The Native Americans would do that to you
with the piss.
Oh, I don't know about the piss.
No, the one that I'm talking about here. I'm trying to remember where this was. I think this may have been in Italy. I can't remember, but it was that or it was an island. I can't remember. But yeah, they bury you so that your head was above the stand, put a stick in your mouth so that it was open, and basically drown you to death in the women's piss.
Oh yeah, I've never heard of that one. Okay. What did you have to do to deserve that?
Steal bread. I don't know. Again, this is I don't. Their justice system was whack as fuck. I would not feel satisfied getting put down in one of these things. It's kind of like, well, I did it,
Yeah, no, there's no way you could get me to trade places with somebody who was born 50 years before me. So there's no way, let alone 1,000 years.
Well, I had this talk. It was specifically about where do you see medicine going in 5 years, 10 years? With
it's going to be
technology.
Amazing.
Well, and this was the thing I was bringing up here, like because the person there's like, well, think about 200 years ago when they were bloodletting. I was like, think about 100 years ago.
They were still bloodletting.
Well, not just bloodletting. It's like your barber was the doctor. That's where the pole came from.
Yeah, right, exactly. Haircuts, surgery.
It's like, y'all remember what used to constitute medicine?
Yeah, it's pretty awful. Yeah, no, I mean, like, even if you go back, like, even when my mom was born, you couldn't even get penicillin. So, in a lot of places, penicillin didn't become widespread until World War II. So,
oh, okay,
yeah,
I can believe it.
There's a lot of that like polio. I mean, that's a real fucking thing. They used to kill a shitload of people, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. You know what cures it? Fucking penicillin. Yeah, exactly. So
people just get bed rest for.
Or no, I'm not polio, tuberculosis. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Polio is something a little bit different, but of course they can fix that one now too. So. with things that you can find at Walgreens.
I know. It's,
Yeah, I saw something the other day. I don't know. It has been a slow news week. I guess I have to catch up a little bit today, but 'cause I didn't know about that.
today's where the big stuff happened.
Did
Yeah.
anything else happen?
Uh,
I saw that where a ship hit the Brooklyn Bridge, but it was like, yeah, not a big deal.
well,
So,
two people died, but
oh, I didn't know that.
they did, and
I thought it was just the tippy top. They killed two people. They were way up there.
there were
So,
people on the masts.
oh, geez.
Yeah. Um, but only two of them died. The bridge was fine.
Yeah.
Um, if you've been following India-Pakistan stuff, there's been a lot of stuff going on,
I
which I
thought
have
that was
not.
kind of like chilled.
I know that there was some stuff. There was a little bit more like, are we ceasefired or not? Um, I know India agreed to basically a zero tariff deal, so a lot of the trade stuff is looking good
It's looking a
on
lot better.
Trump's side so
Yeah.
far. Um, and let's see, what else was there?
That one, though, the devil's going to be in the details. We'll have to see what comes out. So,
Well, and there was basically, so as of right now, for the next 90 days with China, it is uh, 30 US, 10 China. So the market exploded. They're like, oh, thank God.
yeah, I
Uh,
did see. I did see that happen the other day.
so
So,
looking promising there. Anything else?
I saw that Putin did not show up in Turkey.
Why would
So,
he?
well, exactly.
I,
My going theory now is he actually enjoys this shit.
I think
So
he's being a little bitch.
I
Yeah.
think he's having a good time. So I think he likes being mini Stalin. So yeah,
He's running out of roles that you can't.
whatever.
Well, I mean, you're out of every chance that you've had to basically walk out gracefully. You have
Yeah,
ignored.
he refused to take
And
any
so
action.
yeah,
So
he's
fine.
now he's in full like bitch mode and
Um, but yeah, other than that, I just didn't see that much. But what I was going with that was I did see that the other day that there was actually a kid, a baby that they had operated on using like individual gene editing.
oh
Did you see that?
no,
Oh, it was kind of neat. So it like saved him from some like stupid rare like congenital disease that is basically fatal within your first 6 months or something like that.
oh
And I was like, that's fucking cool.
that is really cool.
Yeah. So
Oh, there was a bombing today.
a bombing?
Yeah, in California. Um,
Oh, was it Antifa?
you're not too far off. It was actually a Reddit doomer who basically he was an anti-lifer.
So he's a murderer.
You know, when you put it like that, it does make more sense. But this
What's
is
an anti-lifer?
um, you remember when we were like making fun of like Nietzsche the other day?
Yeah.
Okay, take that like five more steps down.
Oh, okay. He just thinks humans are cockroaches.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
okay.
is why
Would he blow up?
it was a an in vitro fertilization place.
Uh, okay.
Yeah,
Why?
because it's a like life place.
It helps 40-year-old women have babies.
Yes,
Okay.
oftentimes like eight of them, but yes.
That only happened once, Jeff.
So, okay, there's that, but there are a lot of times where they do get like because they implant so many eggs, they'll get like twins and triplets.
Yeah, that's
That's
true. Yeah, that's true.
um. But yes, you're correct. But yeah, he Oklahoma City that one and drove
Oh, was
a
it
car
big? Did he
explosion.
kill anybody?
They said one, but I don't know if it was just him.
Oh, did he kill himself?
He's dead as shit,
Oh, okay.
and that's great.
That's perfect. That's the exact right ratio that we want.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's exactly that's the thing is, well, if that's what you wanted, you should just drove out into the field and done
Right,
that
yeah, and
yourself.
read a note. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
this
sorry, that's not going to show up on Reddit. So.
no, this dork actually he left like a spoken manifesto
Oh, come
about
on.
why he was doing it. So as soon as they saw this was one of those the narrative changed on it from the morning to the afternoon, where it was it was seen as a right wing thing. It's like, oh, this is like an abortion clinic type thing. And then by the afternoon, it was just completely gone because it was just some fucking Reddit weirdo who.
Yeah, they couldn't make hay out of it.
That's correct.
Yep.
It was like this one asshole. This guy. He posted this thing about uh, like domestic terrorism. And this all comes just like, well, look at how much more of this comes from the right. I'm like, what the frick are you talking about? I'm like, what are these incidents that you're talking about? And so I go into this report because the whole thing is like, see, both sides do it, but this side is much more.
No, it's not even close anymore.
And when I got into the report that he pulled this from, it had excluded anything that happened from protests, riots. I mean, anything.
You can't do that. That's where it's happening now.
I was like,
Yeah.
so you just this is completely cherry picked. You didn't even read this.
Totally cherry picked.
Like this is fucking stupid.
I saw one of those the other day that had to do with golf courses and like, what was it, Parkinson's disease.
What?
Well, it was one of these other like cherry pick things, and of course it was done by these, fucking trained people,
Oh, God, so them again?
Well, it was probably a conglomeration of them and like, some of RFKJ's people who are not happy with this progress and so are out there like making fucking waves again. But anyway,
Are these the chemtrails people?
kind of, yeah. So yeah, I mean, so Jeff, it's like peeing in the toilet bowl. Eventually the ripples come back around. You start to hit each other. But anyway, it was this big long like report about like how people who live like within a mile of golf course have a much higher propensity to contract Parkinson's disease than people who don't live a mile and a half away from a golf course. Okay. And so the conclusion was it's all the chemicals that they use, in order to maintain its lush greenness,
Okay.
causing Parkinson's. So, all right. So let me just, run down a multiple choice question for you here.
Sure.
Okay. So if people who live directly on a golf course are getting Parkinson's disease at a rate greater than those who do not live directly on a golf course, is it A, due to chemicals, B, due to like, lack of like, okay, I'm just going to give you an A and a B. All right.
Okay.
So B is they're older than people who actually live on a golf course. Which one do you think it is? So
I would. Okay, so I would lean towards B. I guess the
right. But when you don't even test B,
right, you just make the conclusion.
You just make the conclusion with A.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Well, because I guess the thing that I would ask here is like, well, what's the rate of Parkinson's amongst the people that are working on the golf course?
Well, yeah, even that. Yeah, there you go. So, and let alone, like, is it the golf course or would you go test farmers who use a shitload more of that stuff? So,
Well, there is something I did see something interesting on this about there is something concerning about this when it comes to like honeybees being dead as shit. And
is that still a thing?
A problem.
Is it still a thing?
Yeah. And there are some people that think they've sort of narrowed down some of where this comes from. And it has to do with a specific kind of pesticide that the reason it's so problematic is because it's cumulative.
Okay.
And so it ends up getting into the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll grow like into the trees and it'll like
okay.
And that's how it ends up having a way bigger spread than where they actually use it. But evidently it is still happening, which is a concern.
I just remember like what was it? It was like 6 months before COVID, everybody was freaked out about murder hornets killing all the bees because we didn't have that many more bees left. And so that's been about a good 8 years now. So,
well,
yeah, so I don't know. Like, so I did actually, who's the guy who writes Dilbert? What's his name?
Oh, Scott Adams.
Scott Adams. I saw him on a podcast a while back. And he's got this theory of what is it? his theory of slow moving catastrophes. Have you heard of this?
I should know this. I do follow him on Twitter, but no, I don't know
I think
this.
he's probably mentioned it on Twitter. I just haven't been on the Twitter that much
He's
lately.
not famous on Twitter for that.
No, he's famous for other things on Twitter. So, but he in particular has this theory of slow moving catastrophes, and he says that anything that's something that we can see that's more than like 10 or 15 years away actually turns out not to be a catastrophe because eventually we just
Mhm.
get out of the way of it.
Right,
So, yeah.
right.
So,
Yeah, the problem there is okay, look, you're probably right 99% of the time, right? And
okay.
this is the thing is you know, the Moonanite's laser moves really slowly, but sometimes it bounces and it hits you in the back, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Um, the thing when it comes to bees, the thing that I do know is that bees, on the other hand, are not a finite thing. There are plenty of people that have them, and they don't hesitate to breed. I mean, that's the thing
No.
is um, I know that we're losing like a natural source of these things here, and I know that the concerns that go along with it. And if it needs to change, course, then it will, right?
Well, yeah, and I guess that's my point with bees. I mean, until the government comes and or somebody makes the case out there that you can no longer forcibly remove hives from, like land that you're trying to develop or houses that you're trying to flip or something like that,
Right,
then obviously it's not at the critical point just quite yet. So, you know,
right. And again, it's not the removal is not an issue anyway because
mm,
it's if they're dying, they're dying. They're not going to be there. You removing that hive won't do shit anyway, right?
well, typically no, but you can relocate them,
You
so
can,
yeah,
or again, that's the other thing is that people do have tons and tons of bees, so
they
that if
do.
they want to make new colonies of these things, they absolutely
We could
can.
absolutely make more bees.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
If
So
we
it's not exactly that difficult.
if we
So,
want to incentivize it, we can have them all over the place. But yeah, that look, you and I have seen it in our lifetimes. There are some things where they find out like, yeah, this shit's bad. We used it for a while, right?
oh yeah, yeah,
Um, one of the things that I saw was, obviously I have strong feelings towards asbestos, but this is
yeah, sure.
one of the things that I never noticed was there were people that worked with it with like their bare hands,
Hmm.
and the burns they would get from that shit is like awful looking.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess a lot of that stuff, way before this happened, they settled with that shit years ago with like
Hmm.
the union guys who used to work on this
Hmm.
stuff. But that was the outside stuff, and they figured out like at that point, it's like we got to be careful with this. First, it was like no doing this without a suit,
Yeah, there's no doing this without a mask, and then no doing this at all.
right? And then
Right,
it
yeah.
was if we have it, we have to get it out.
Yeah, well, yeah, right now it's at that as if like if your house has it, you need to get rid of it
Yeah,
if you disturb it. So,
right, right.
um, yeah, like my understanding is it's actually not that common anymore, except for like industrial facilities that have been there for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
stuff like that. So
And some old houses where you see from
some
like
old
old like
houses.
tiles, but you're talking about the rarity.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about those pot tiles that you actually used to have to wax and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
And we're all hearing that like that's late 70s, 80s,
we don't have any
80s.
asbestos
Uh-uh,
here.
not gonna happen.
No.
Our school did.
Yeah, but so like when it was actually seen as a fire retardant, you would put it in a school. So,
And to be fair, it's very fire retardant.
yeah. Well, that's what they put it in ships or in Navy ships originally, so so they don't burn when you get hit by explosives.
They would spray it on missiles. That is what my dad was doing.
Yeah, so they put them on missiles too, so they don't burn up in the reentry. Go figure. So
Yeah, it turns out it was a wonderful thing, except for when it wasn't. So it's
until you inhaled it, yes,
exactly.
yeah,
So
then it was bad.
yeah, and like when they did demonstrate like with like DDT, it had very serious
Sure.
effects. So if
Well,
this
it
is
caused birth defects. I mean, they were clear.
Yeah, they fought it pretty hard though.
Well, that's because it was really effective. So,
Yeah,
it didn't
that's
have
true.
any of that like terrible immediate side effects until it got into the well water, and then babies drank it, and then it was like, why does this one have four eyes? He's not wearing glasses. You know.
We've lived through some weird things, Pat.
Yes.
But yeah, that's when it comes down to bees, when it's time to take care of them, they'll be taken care of. Now,
Yeah, I'm not.
Scott Adams is famous on Twitter for um, the new segregation movement.
There's a new segregation movement.
Yeah,
Oh, I remember that
yeah.
tweet. He was half joking. So, but people did not fucking take it that way. I know exactly what you're talking
Well, there's so here's the thing: is there's this picture now of Scott Adams basically with his hands out like
about. Yeah,
this,
yeah.
and so it's not uncommon for when you go into the thread about Carmelo Anthony stabbing,
Oh,
that guy, to see that picture of Scott Adams looking like
yeah. Did
this.
they do anything with that? Where's that at? I haven't followed that at all.
The interesting thing, Patrick, is
So he got arrested, right?
he was arrested.
Okay.
He was
Is he bonded out or is he in jail?
okay. This is where it gets crazy.
Okay.
The judge reduced his bail
Okay.
by 3/4
Okay.
and let him loose.
So he
Um,
posted.
he posted.
Okay.
It was set at 1 million. She reduced it by 3/4, which is insane. This is
Is
a,
that uncommon?
it's uncommon when your judge has written books about racial
Oh,
activism.
okay. All right.
Um,
No, then it would be common. Got
so
it.
here's where this plays out. Okay, so obviously you heard about the GoFundMe.
A little bit. I heard there was like a neck and neck race for a little bit for something.
Do you know what the neck and neck race was in?
No.
All right, so this is where this comes in. All right, um, so people have been raising money with this on this. I think it's on Give Send Go because I think GoFundMe won't do stuff
No,
like
they
this.
won't do stuff like that.
Um, and so he was at like 500 grand, right?
To help him post bond.
Well, for everything,
Oh, okay.
right? This is for the
Legal
family.
fund, yeah.
It's just for the family, right?
So they can buy a mansion. So
Amongst other things. And so what happens there is not too long after that, like a week ago, there's a young woman and her kids, and they're in the park. And there is this weird guy who is filming her and her kids. But one of the things that happens there is there's this weird kind of special needs black boy that goes rifling through her stuff, right?
while she's at the park with her kid.
Yes. Now, she said the gamer word.
I don't know what the gamer word is.
Yes, you do.
Okay, all right. The one
Yes,
that
you
you're
do.
not supposed to use.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
okay, got
That's the gamer word.
it. Yeah.
So she calls this kid the gamer word. That's caught on camera by this weird guy who is filming in the park with no children. That's weird. I'm just going to put that to the side
Sounds
for a minute.
staged.
Well, he is actually. I mean, here's the thing. That dude is a actually he's a known offender. He wasn't supposed to be there.
Okay, all right.
All right, but anyway, so that goes up on social media, basically like take down this woman for using the N word.
Right.
Okay, now she starts a give send go because of the threats that she's getting.
Okay.
Right, in terms of like this is what people are saying about me and my family. They're threatening me. We want to move out of here, get away from this. Blah 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 blah. So what happens is there's a give send go race.
So between that lady and the other thing.
And Carmelo Anthony, the heart stabber.
Okay.
And as of right now, actually, as of like one day of that, she had raised like $700,000.
Right.
And there's this big argument about what exactly is going on here. What does this say about race in this country? Is that where are we with this? And honestly, I don't think there's a good answer for it. I think there are, like we talked about, yeah, there are dudes that donated that are very much into like Nordic runes and things like that.
Yeah.
I think there's also a lot of
Crusader
people.
tattoos.
Crusader tattoos. Dale Slow Volt. Yeah, that kind of. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, so the funny thing is I watch a few guys who are really good on this stuff.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
You know, they're a little bit removed from the day to day, although some of them are Twitter warriors as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, you can track race relations. Pew Research has done it for 30 years. So, where they go around and ask, how do you feel about it?
Yeah.
And ever since Trayvon Martin, it's gone down. Okay. And it, like, when you and I were in high school, it was at its peak. I mean, everybody was like cool, you know, and then for the next 10 years, it was pretty cool. And then Obama became president. And then we had birtherism. So, which is some guy did that. I don't think he was serious about it, but you know, it gave an opening, and then Trayvon Martin happens. He's like, oh, he could have been my son, and so he's just pouring more wood on this fire. You
Right.
know, until you get all the way to George Floyd. But it's actually started coming back up a little bit. So, and if you take a look at it, like the last election and the breakdowns in the demographics, you can kind of see that people are fucking sick of it, you know, and they want to go back to the way that it was, you know. And so if there's a race going on, so I don't know anything about that second lady. I would be okay, you know, like, are you, how long have you been in this community? You know, what kind of job do you have? Stuff like this, blah, blah, blah. Because I kind of smell a setup on that one. Because if I can get $700,000 by dropping an N bomb on a dude, you know, and splitting 50 of that with the cameraman, okay. I hope she's legit about it, you know? So, and it's straight up, you know, just a bad example of this shit. But I'm just growing more skeptical of this stuff. So, you know,
Well, there's a to go back to the Obama thing. Look, there's a pretty decent argument to be made. I mean, when it comes down to look, there's no two ways around it. When you look at the big media there, and you look at the mentions of race, right?
sure.
You can see where that kicks up, and that's basically at the end of Occupy Wall Street. Now,
Well, yeah, absolutely, because that became the new thing that led. So, I mean, you could sell fucking newspapers by doing that shit. So,
you could, and there's an argument that the reason that it is the way that it is because of the way that it was perceived, and basically that
Totally.
it was thrown out that way because it helped them sell papers, but also made people because. And look, you and I have talked about this, right? Your brain, unfortunately, when it reads news, it doesn't do a good job of distinguishing New York from your neighborhood.
no, it does not. Yeah.
It's stupid.
Specifically, the Upper West Side of New York.
Fucking I mean, yeah, this is the thing. This is where the stupid this is where the we don't know how to handle the internet yet comes in. Where yes, there are people that think that whatever happened there just happened outside your door,
Yeah.
right? And this is the same thing where they're going with these race things, and they say like this is happening everywhere. You do the numbers, it's not. The incidents are so
no, it's
isolated.
so isolated. It's not even funny.
Right? It's the same like when I told you about that one fucking dickhead who was kind of like, well, kids have to, run serpentine to school from getting shot. I'm like, well, actually, no.
No.
Here's the numbers. I'll show you the math.
Yep.
We
do math.
0.0000014% of having any violence happening to him.
Much, much more likely to be attacked by a shark on land. Yes.
That's correct. But when you sell it that way, you make people think that kids are basically, target practice.
Yeah.
I
don't know, man. I'm kind of lost on this one because, like, people who are older than me are absolutely fucked on this, and I've just noticed this a little bit more as we get deeper and deeper into this. I mean, the amount of like 55 to 65-year-old colleagues that I have who think that we're on the brink of the apocalypse because Donald Trump is in the office has grown exponentially since last October, and there is no assuaging them at all. And so all you'd have to do is just wait, and like, but my kids, they could give a fuck less. They know all about this internet bullshit. And it's fucking hilarious. So,
Well, they're the ones leading the dumb phone charge.
Totally. It's not just a dumb phone charge. It's almost like well, that shit doesn't matter because it's always been that way ever since they became,
Correct.
media literate.
Yep.
But
Yep.
even yesterday, like I was sitting there talking to some of my colleagues in the education school, and they're talking about, oh, my daughter was coming to school, and he doesn't or she doesn't use like what is it like what is the free lunch program FFE whatever
Oh
it
yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
which is congressionally mandated. It's not being cut. All right, so nor should it be. All right, so fine. I mean, it's like nothing, and it feeds a lot of fucking kids. So cool, you know.
Brother, I have no problem with food being available for every kid.
Yeah, and most schools do it that way. Like my daughter doesn't have to pay; it's not income adjusted. So, in fact, it's more expensive to bring your fucking lunch. So, but anyway, um, they don't charge you for that, but I have to
No.
buy it.
Uh,
Yeah. So, but anyway, but that's not the point here. But anyway, she was talking about how this program is being cut, and her kids like asked her to go to Costco to buy all kinds of fruit snacks because he's afraid all his friends are going to get starving because that's what her teacher told them.
just
And it's like you got to be
fucking
fucking shitting me. And I
motherfuckers.
almost
Yeah.
guarantee you that teacher's probably somewhere in the age of 50 to 60. Is a disaffected, former longtime fan of Bill Clinton. You know,
Yeah.
so, and it's just, not keeping the eye on the prize, which is you should be teaching math today. So, and it's
I
just,
know.
it's
I
ridiculous
know.
because like other people are like, oh my God, oh. And I'm like, it's not happening, but this is not the forum for me to speak up, nor do I give a fuck. Because really, when it comes down to it, in a year's time, you're going to buy a whole lot of fruit snacks, and your kids giving away a bunch of them, and their kids still got fed, and they got free fruit snacks out of it. And eventually, you can just say, "What the fuck am I buying you fruit snacks for?"
A great
So
question. Yeah,
it's the
I
only way
know.
that you can actually learn this shit, man. So no, it's just crazy. So yeah, it's definitely people who are older, and so like my in-laws, they're on the other side. They are complete Trump like fucking dorks. Okay, I mean like way in.
It just stands all the way
Oh,
in.
they could, yeah,
Yeah.
no, not they'll like pre-stand for him.
It's true. Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Things, you
I
know.
think.
Not only will they give him grace on everything he does right now, but they're going to grant him 3 more indulgences.
Well, I think. I mean, to their credit, and this is not to. I'm not picking on your in-laws in any way,
No,
shape,
I'm
or
not
form.
either,
What
man.
because
They read very, very, very pro-Trump news. So, and every day they read it
well,
every day.
they do, and to be fair, I think that they, like a lot of people on that side, were. I'm just going to say it like it is. They were waiting for their Messiah to come. It had been foretold in the scriptures. The Republican that would not be a Republican. That
I don't think they were that way. I think they came around because he was actually winning.
all
So,
right,
yeah.
because there are a lot of people that see this finally as their guy, in terms of he came from outside the deserts and he wandered in from
I think they were much more of the opinion that they just wanted to see someone really stick it into the Democrats hard.
that's well,
So
okay,
I don't think
yeah,
they really care about the
okay,
instrument. So
all right, all right. And I'm just talking about certain people who feel that their day has finally come, right?
there's definitely some of those, but those are the guys who are getting spun off a little bit, you know.
Well,
Because it's like, oh yeah, we finally got our guy, and no, we're not going to do all this war stuff, and yeah, it's time we finally go after the Jews. And it's like,
right, yeah,
guys, what are you
it's
doing?
it's like when Zach was telling me about the militia guys. I'm like, this makes sense. This makes sense. The Jews, you say?
The Jews, you say?
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like,
I got to be blunt with you. He's only been in office a little bit more than 100 days, and I thought those guys wouldn't come out for another year, but they just couldn't hold it back. I mean,
well, your real litmus test. This is the thing. Was today, right? Is when you spend all of your time. This is where there's a new phrase, right? That is boiling out. That is it's incredibly inaccurate. It's easy to say, but they're saying there is a group called the woke right, right?
what is that? I've heard that a little bit. I don't understand what that is.
Here's the thing: is woke right is not being applied properly. Woke is and always will be a set of beliefs, right? It's a set of beliefs in terms of you believe in institutional this. You believe in intersectionality. You believe in
kind of.
no. This is
That's what it's become. I wouldn't say it's always been that.
It's always been that.
No, woke
it's
used to be
always been
something
rooted
different.
in that. No, it's always been rooted in that.
Woke came from the ghetto, man. It was. If you're going into another neighborhood, you got to stay woke. It didn't.
No, that's different. You're talking
that's where it came from, though.
No, you're talking about woke in terms of like. Okay, here's the thing: is in the same way that fucking Da Bomb came out of the ghetto.
Mhm.
Okay, once it hits Main Street,
it becomes something different,
right? And so that the actual version of this, where you're talking about, the actual like ghetto version of this, that's something totally. It's in the same way.
It's totally different.
It's in the same way that Ghetto Fabulous
was also something different.
Does not mean what the fuck people.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it has nothing to do with being fabulous.
No, it's not a celebration of fucking ghetto culture. No, it's an insult.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, yeah, but anyway, but that has always been, since it broke out, and actually had a term. It's been about a certain amount of basically like intersectionality and everything that goes along.
That thing's only been around since I'd say 2010. It's maybe a little bit later.
Yeah, and so what they're doing here is the thing that was associated with that was the aspect of cancel culture.
Yeah,
right?
Of course, yeah.
Which is basically tattling on employers for behaviors you're trying to punish people for not having that.
Or ex-boyfriends, whatever.
Well, yeah, and so the woke right is basically the people who are tattletaling, right? When they see leftist, basically transgressions, and they're trying to get people fired for that. Now the shoe's on the other foot. Okay, it's like, oh, did you see this guy? He's saying this, but you're this kind of business now, right?
Okay, I'm going to need an example to understand this. I don't know.
Okay, well, like,
so this is guys. So a woke right guy is someone who calls out the left.
Is basically trying to apply cancel culture to somebody who is. Like, think about the Bud Light situation.
Okay.
That is woke rightism, where before you were like, okay, now we're trying to get our way by bullying companies, right, into pushing out whatever.
I thought these were guys like Steve Bannon who go out there and go after, like, Trump's NSA director for not being right enough. I thought that's what I thought that's what they were talking about here.
No,
I've only heard it in a couple contexts, so I don't even. It's so confusing to me.
Well, and that's where the stupidity comes in. Is that term has nothing to do with it. What you're talking about is basically cancel culture. Is basically the purity test culture, which started over there on the left. Now that you have a little bit of juice over here, you have people trying to do it on the right. Whereas the argument was before, right? The whole thing was. You made this point. This is where you fucking lose me, is where you say, you know what, as a company, you probably shouldn't have any strong political affections either way.
Yeah.
It's probably not a good idea, and I sure as shit don't want to see people reducing or afraid to speak their mind or being censored on social media for their opinions, right? And this is the sort of thing where these are the people who then turn around and say, like, well, hey, Elon Musk. It's like, now that you bought Twitter, can you ban all these fucking loser leftists? Right? No,
that's
dumbass.
That's not a good idea.
That's not what this is about.
He's not doing that, is he?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
I haven't seen him much in the news lately.
No, he's actually kind of like disappeared in the background, and fucking Tesla stock went up $115 anyway. But
good, go fucking fix that thing, man. Busted right now.
Yeah, but yeah, that's where that is. It's like, no, it's not woke right. It's cancel culture.
So it's a guy like Steve Bannon where he's just absolutely out there trying to battle axe people in the fucking Republican side.
That is just straight up purity testing. That is that's.
I thought that's what the woke thing was. I guess I was mistaken. I like I said, I've only seen it in a couple contexts. I was like, what the fuck is that? Who made that up?
So, it's the same kind of thing. It's one of those dumbass things. It's like brat. It's like it's the same stupid
that
shit.
That died on the vine.
Yep. It's gonna be there for for a minute. It's the same. It's you remember this was a thing that they did during the election where they were trying to classify um, Republicans as weird.
That didn't work either.
No,
Yeah.
no,
There was like, actually, you're the guy who's really weird, man. So, yeah.
right. So I mean, this is really where that's all like coming from. It's like it's just applying this language. Like that doesn't fly because that's not where that movement came from. It has nothing to do with that. And there's absolutely nothing fucking woke about republicanism in any way, shape, or form.
No,
It's the opposite.
I mean, there's pieces of it in there. So, there are definitely elements that are unsavory, shall we say.
And this is yeah, and
Yeah.
to me, this is where the proof comes out in the pudding. Here is when you find out that the former president has advanced cancer,
Yeah.
you can tell the assholes from the people that actually meant what they said, because the people that meant what they said came out today and said, "Cancer sucks for everyone. My condolences."
Yeah, well, I'd say that too, but I don't really have any stake in it. So,
Well, right, right.
you
But
know.
the people that are basically the
But man,
shields,
they're going to have to actually be cast from the Democratic Party before anybody takes us to this party seriously.
well,
So,
no, no, no. I'm talking about on the Republican Party. I'm talking about the people that the quote unquote woke right. The woke right people are the people that were doing the grave dancing today. That were like, "Fuck him. You get what you deserve.
that's not
Karma's a
good.
bitch." Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
no, that's
saying.
bad.
Is so the people who were basically bad mouthing and saying, "Look at how these leftist people talk. Fuck them. They're terrible." Right?
And then
If
do the
you
same thing.
if you
Yeah.
came out today and said like karma's a bitch, right?
You're one of those people.
You are one of those people.
Okay.
That's how you can tell.
All right. Sorry, I'm kind of lost in all the divisions here. I don't quite get it anymore.
Well, I mean, you're talking about people too stupid to actually put together a risk army. So, I mean, this is
That's true.
you know,
Yeah.
like as of right now, when it comes down to it, there's been no Congress that has actually tried to like codify less bills than this Congress.
I I don't know where they're at right now.
They're currently the lowest.
But I thought they were supposed to have a big, beautiful bill coming out like next week.
That was supposed to be this week.
Oh, what held it up?
John Mike Johnson. I don't remember what his deal was, but he sent everybody home early.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wonder why.
but you got me.
I don't know. I'm
You
sure
got
there's a
me.
reason. So,
I'm sure there was a reason too, but I mean,
yeah.
there's like nothing
I
going
mean,
on with
he
those
he he
guys.
wants a bill. So I wouldn't say that.
He should.
No, he totally wants a bill. So I did see something about Hakeem Jeffries though. Wasn't he implicated in the P Diddy shit this week?
I did not know that, but that would not surprise me. There was
Yeah,
another big name that was implicated
there
too. I can't
was.
remember.
Yeah.
Um, like the mayor of Chicago or something like that. It was just, and that dude is a fucking ass clown, no
I don't
matter
know
how you
who he
slice
is.
it. Jesus. I mean, at least he's not like that bug woman that he replaced, Lori Lightfoot. Um,
Chicago politics is definitely off my radar. So
that place seems like a shit show.
it's a place that I don't even plan on visiting, let alone caring about. So,
I don't think they want us there. Oh no, no, there was cities. There was a fucking tornado in St. Louis.
oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
So
that was scary looking.
I
Watching
haven't
us
seen
like tear the
that. Yeah,
fucking tops off big buildings.
good lord.
Um,
St. Louis is kind of a shithole too. So I've been there in a long time, but I used to go there all the time. I watched it go downhill over the course of about 10 years. So
well, it used to be pretty nice, right?
it
Well,
used to
nice
be
was
busy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, and then not so much after a little while. So
Is it still like? I presume that for a long time it was a big time like shipping hub, right?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. My understanding, I see, like, I don't know, man. I watched this shipping guy who's great, and I'm sure he's got one up, or he will have one up on that Brooklyn Bridge thing here
Man,
pretty
that's
soon.
we have very eclectic tastes when it comes to.
Dude, my YouTube feed is so, it's all over the map, and I add and call from it on a pretty regular basis, but certain guys just strike me as like, all right, you're the guy who knows about this. And so if this comes up, I want you to talk about it, you know? And then there's other people on there. It's like, no, you sound just like this guy, so you're deleted. Yeah. So, like, the China guys are really good this week. I still love those guys, man. So,
No, they're good. Well,
yeah.
they
Don't pull any punches. So,
don't, but they also verify. They're all right. So
I know, and I love channels that do that, man. So it's like, oh, okay, well, this is how this translates. It's like, oh, that makes sense now. So,
because I mean, there are a couple of China channels that I watch, right? Um, Theirs is the one that I go to like for the actual that. So there's a couple of guys who you'll get daily stuff from,
oh
right?
yeah, I know.
And they basically have the attitude of like, you're not gonna believe this shit,
Shit,
right?
yeah, it's gonna collapse today,
All right.
and then the next day it's gonna collapse tomorrow, you know.
So I'm not fucking around. I do watch that stuff too because there is something to be said about like the tip of the spear. Then these guys come out like once per Friday or whatever, and I
Yeah.
catch up on that, and they're like, okay, so this was a nothing burger. This was a nothing burger. This, on the other
Yeah, this
hand,
was interesting. Yeah.
um,
I guess I don't need to be on the bleeding edge, so I'm
well,
just not there on a lot of things, man.
there's a piece of me that still loves fucking National Enquirer, essentially,
Yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like
yeah.
garbage news, right? But I
Right.
know that it's garbage
Right,
news.
yeah. This is candy in the end of the aisle. Yeah.
It's one of those like every now and then somebody does get the scoop, and
Hmm.
it is interesting, and you get to see that happen in real time. But most of the time, it's like, and
Yeah.
sometimes even through all that, they do raise certain interesting points in terms of how many more things have been scraped off of China's reporting. How many?
Hmm. A
Um,
lot. A lot.
I'm like, you know what? That is a problem. That
Eh,
is bad news.
well, it is, but I mean, if you know it, then okay, you have a better perspective on what's actually going on and what they're doing.
Yeah.
This is why I don't worry about World War III anymore. I mean, I was the car that I was chasing for the last 2 years was the Ukraine thing, and now I realize it's just like it ain't gonna change. It ain't gonna change. So tens of thousands more Russians are gonna die. Because Ukrainians are fucking minting out drones that they just fucking suicide guys with, and that dude won't stop the war. He's been given every opportunity to do so, and so I haven't been following it. Not even on the Telegram, man. I don't need to see guys get their heads popped like lemons anymore. So I'm good. So what's next? Yeah. So eventually it'll end. Who knows when? I won't make any call on that. You know.
And maybe that was the mistake from the very beginning was trying to call it by rules that don't apply to us.
Nope.
Right? We can only see this in the perspective of where we come from because from
We're disaffected guys on the other side of the fucking planet who can make rational decisions.
correct.
They are not.
Right. Right.
So when it blew up your daughter's school, it's personal. If that guy agrees to a
Right.
ceasefire and half of his troops go on furlough, you're never getting him back to the front. So he's never going to do a ceasefire. There you go.
And our military is not like that.
No. Our solution, our VA doesn't consist of a walkout back in an AK-47. And that happens. So. So like our army, your fucking commanding officer doesn't fucking put you in a pit with another guy and tell one of you to kill the other one so he can take your salary. So that happens.
We may have like recruitment problems here,
Not like that.
but we haven't had like a squad of dudes that just see you.
We don't have press gangs. No.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
And they find you. The vans that I've seen of just poor schlubs
Oh yeah.
being emptied out,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh my god,
Yep.
like this is it's not an American thing. It won't be an American thing.
No, and that's why we'll never fight in that war. No matter how much Europe squeals about it, we're not sending a single fucking soldier over there, man. I mean, we've got Green Berets over there and stuff like that, but that's all volunteer shit. So
Right.
that's not a deployment.
Right.
It's completely different. Yeah, no. So that was the one story that I've been like tailgating for a while. That and the election. And now that the election is way behind us and everything's kind of like cool, actually.
Well, I mean,
I just don't have like stories that I'm tailgating anymore. So
the levels of cool. I mean, it depends on where you sit on this. Like, there is there's a little bit of a hubbub in terms of like a lot of sorting out what goes to what court and who's doing what.
that the court might be a good one to actually bumper tailgate for like the next month because they'll do a couple really big rulings by the end of June.
They made one about the deportations, and this was where.
Did they make a ruling on that, or they just not? They didn't actually enforce what the court said. So,
all right. This is what the ruling was. This was the 7-2 ruling that people saw as this big betrayal or this huge victory.
Did this happen this week?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't catch this one.
This was the one that it had to do with like the Venezuelans getting the boot and about representation and due process. The only thing that the Supreme Court decided that they were owed was more than 24 hours to plead their case.
Okay.
Everything else was remanded to lower court. All they said was, we do think that you deserve more than one 24-hour period to plead your case.
Okay.
That was it. And that was something like
7-2, huh?
Yep.
That's pretty emphatic.
It was pretty
That
emphatic.
means you got at least one. That means you at least got two moderate judges and one of the liberal ones. So,
well, you can guess which two.
Well, I don't know. Was it Elena Kagan or was it Sotomayor and?
Oh no! Other way.
That went against that?
Yeah.
Really, it was fucking Alito and
Clarence Thomas.
Really, they didn't even think you should have 24 hours.
No.
Oh, okay. So it was a resounding victory then.
A resounding victory on one aspect of this that just says you should have more than one day.
See, I kind of agree with that.
And that makes sense to me. Like, again, if this is one of those things
a judge might be on vacation.
Dude, exactly. This is the kind of
it's a big border.
That's the kind of conciliation I'm like, well, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I've come to the terms of like, the whole argument has been, what is the due process for non-citizens? And that's the big debate. There's the challenging of birthright citizenship, which I think, okay, this is worth looking at.
Hey, it's worth looking at. We're going to need more input on that, yeah, before we can go. Like, okay, is that the way we're going? We should probably vote on that.
See, this is right. This is one of the things that came from that ruling too. Is they said that the next thing that comes with this better come from Congress.
Exactly, yeah, because that might be a heavy lift for an executive order. So that yeah. So like if they say, okay, yeah, there's merit to this, but there's a branch out there that needs to do its job on this. Okay, fine, we'll duke it out at the ballot box, and either give Congress an okay on that or not. So okay, fine.
That's exactly it.
I'm okay with voting on that one, regardless
Absolutely.
of which way it goes. If it goes, hey, no, that's the way it is. And if you hike across that border and have a baby, 30 seconds later, it's American citizen. As long as we voted on that, cool. That's the rule. All right. And if we say nope, then I'm cool with that too. That's the rule. So
yeah, because I didn't notice, until a little while ago. I was like, are there any other countries that really do this? No, not really.
That kind of makes us kind of cool though, but it might make us chumps too. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, as soon as you explain to me, it's like, so no other country says that if two non-citizens or one non-citizen crosses this border, has a baby here, that's a natural citizen. Every other country said, it's where you're from. It's like, you know what? That makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, but I mean, we have a unique history with immigration that it kind of makes sense to have it the other way too. So,
It
but I think
does.
the thing should be that you are actually here legally. So,
That's
so if
the
you have
big
a
deal.
green card and have a baby, your baby is American at that point in time. I am 100% cool with that. But then again, if we voted on that and people said no, I'd be like, okay, like we just have to agree on what it is that we're going to fucking do with that.
Well, all we have to settle is like, are they a legal or illegal immigrant? I think
Sure.
most people would be fine with that in terms
Yeah.
of like, well, okay, well, you're not supposed to be here anyway,
Yeah. Off you go. Yep.
right?
So, sorry, no do overs. Yeah.
Like, I
Sorry,
get
not
it,
sorry.
you know.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how that one goes. The federal jurisdictions is the one that that one's going to come up in a couple different cases, and
Yeah,
so I would be very shocked if we don't have very firm guidance on that by the end of July. I mean, by the end of June, because they got to kind of slay that dragon before they can do anything else, and so I don't think the Supreme Court will back down from that one. So
I don't think they can. I think they have to.
I
I
think
think
they
this is the
probably
one they
feel
can.
obliged. Yeah. So
I think there are a couple of people out there right now who are talking about that on the court, and I think there's going to be some people like, I don't want to make this decision.
Oh, that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like, I can't do this because I don't feel that I have authority over the entire United States. But that's the whole judge shopping thing because there are some fucking lunatics out there that it's like, yeah, sure. And I mean, there's some troglodytes that you wouldn't want to give that authority either. It'd be like, no, no more abortions ever.
did you say that? Like none?
Like none. Yes. So, yeah, you don't want that either. So there you go. I don't know, man. The best solution to that one I've still heard is just random assignments. So, like,
I agree.
yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
seems like an easy peasy kind of thing. And that would be in the Supreme Court's like purveyance of how to do it because it decides how the circuits work. And so it could just turn around and say, oh, okay, yeah, so you can't take these liberal cases to fucking Seattle. You know, every chance you get.
Well, so, I mean, when they used to talk about, and this is, I think they've solved some of this, is when they used to, we had a big problem with like patent trolling. And
Mhm.
it was because they had that one district in Texas that was extremely uh,
Yeah,
favorable
yeah.
to, it's like, does this not seem like a miscarriage of justice if you just take it here and you
Right,
keep
yeah.
getting these rulings?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, same
yeah.
thing. Corporations getting out of Delaware because the court there is like, okay. So you don't have to pay those taxes.
We don't?
No, no, you don't have to pay into that pension fund.
We're cool.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
We're cool.
Yeah, we're cool. All right.
Oh,
Final
cool.
thoughts.
I don't know. Rockies still stink. They did win yesterday, though, somehow,
Oh,
in a 14-12 battle royale. So defense just wasn't in the game for either side. And so I guess when it comes to swinging bats, they're okay. So
well, you know what? That does have a distinctly Rockies vibe to it.
kind of, yeah.
We've definitely had all offense years.
Yeah, I don't think this is one of them, but it's still early. Still early May or mid May. We got a little ways to go.
Oh, are you saying that we've got a charge coming?
I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a charge. So I
We're going
would
to turn
think
this
more
ship
like
around.
staunch the bleeding.
If that's what counts as like victory conditions for that team,
I'm gonna take it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's okay. Good, you didn't die on the table, buddy. Rehab's gonna suck, but
You never know. Hey, you know what? It could be that from this crowd of guys, this is where you get your new Charlie Blackmans and things like that. You know?
possible. It's possible. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think I said this last podcast, or maybe I told the guys at the yacht club this, but I've kind of changed my mind ever since Will talked about where they are in terms of salary.
Oh,
So
right.
yeah, it's like, all right, fine. If you're in the middle of the pack, we should get at least middle of the pack performance. So obviously, there's a coaching problem here too. So that's an easier one to fix than they like strip you of your team ownership.
Well, okay. So
Literally take the land from underneath your house.
coaching or management, one of those two things, right?
Sure, yeah, yeah,
In terms of like player acquisition, that kind of thing,
yeah,
like GMing. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Look, he's right.
yeah.
I don't know. It
I know
still
you,
feels good though.
yeah, you still want to sort things out by gunfight in the Constitution. So
No, I think it's just plain simple. Like if you don't get results, eventually what'll happen is that team should be forced to relocate to the second biggest city in the state.
but that's a $1 billion fine, if you think about it. So why don't you just fine them $1 billion?
What's there's a phrase for that about fines,
Oh.
and it's a good one. It's basically like I can't remember it. It's basically like if you're I'm too stupid to remember this. If I
I'm
could,
too
if it comes
stupid
to
to
this,
know
yeah.
this.
There's just something about it's a great quote about fines, but it escapes me at the moment.
Maybe it'll come to you by Wednesday. So,
There's a chance.
there's a chance. All right, I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
I'm hitting the
Thanks
button.
for having faith in me.
I do.